Hello, viewers. We were talking of life skills for young people or life skills for graduate. This is the module 1, lecture 2, which talks of emergence of life skills, how the life skills evolved during the times. As we had already seen in the previous lecture, that life skills are certain psychosocial abilities which help an individual to adapt to the challenging situations in life, and we had also seen that uh, organizations like WHO, UNICEF, also the Delos report, the NCRT, the UGC all talk of life skills at a different way, but pointing that these are those abilities which help people to live a balanced life. Now, when you're talking of young learners, then these are those abilities which help them to adjust their knowledge, skill, and attitude to the challenging situations in their life, which can be professional, which can be personal, and which can also be societal. Now, how these life skills evolved, this is a concept of life skills we'll be taking in the worldwide view and in the Indian scenario also. As we all know that life skills have always been part of our growing up along different times. The people of the ancient world who were there had life skills to make weapons from the things which were available like the stones, etc. They had to cope up to the vagaries of the climate then, so they had to live in caves. Then gradually they developed a knowledge. We had civilizations which were very evolved. The life skills of those civilizations were different. People had to communicate or commute to different places, and then there were different ways of communicating, different ways of commuting. There were sea routes, there were land routes, there were eagles which were used to send messages, there were different sort of sound beats which was used to send messages, there were the seals which were used to send messages to adapt to the situations which were emerging there. So as we have seen that the people of various civilizations have always adapted themselves to the situations which are there, solved their problem, developed, and those who have been able to adapt themselves in the best possible way have come out as leaders of that particular civilization. So that is how we talk of life skills across times. If you look at life skills in the worldwide scenario, the first time the word life skill has been taken is there in the Ottawa Charter of Health Promotion in 1986, which says life skill is important for making better health choices. So the first time that life skills was seen, it was seen in terms of health perspective. That is, we have to have a balanced life. To live a balanced life, we have to have a healthy body, and only a healthy body can have a healthy mind. So first time in the Ottawa Charter for promotion of health, the word life skills was used, and it was in terms of enhancement of health. Then the Convention on Right of Child for the first time in 1989 also said that fullest potential of child is associated with the development of life skills. So here it the concept broadened. It said the potential abilities of a child, if they have to be enhanced, then we have to take care of life skills. In the modern context, in terms of education, the Jumeirah Declaration on Education for All, EFA pointed out that life skills are important tool for better life. So gradually we are seeing that life skills are evolving from a concept of health to potential development of child to the educational perspective of development of individuals. The first modern commission which talks of education in 21st century, as we already mentioned in our definition, which said learning to live together. The Delors Commission proposed integrated vision of education based on learning throughout life and the four pillars of learning to know, learning to do, and learning to be, and learning to live together in 1996 were first time where life skill was considered as a requirement for education in the 21st century to come. So there was that if we have to have a sustainable life for future development, then life skill abilities of individuals, of learners have to be enhanced. Then in 1997, the Hamburg Declaration on Adult Learning. All these, the concept as I has mentioned, had changed from health to potential development to educational development, because then it was said that education, as we all know, is the holistic development of an individual. So concept of life skills should be an integral part of educational aspects at any stage, and that is how it was said that Hamburg Declaration on Adult Learning. Again, that is a concept of lifelong learning which was suggested by Delors, that learning doesn't end at a particular state, it goes on throughout your life. We say learning to live together with different abilities, different capabilities, different skills have to be there. So the Hamburg Declaration on Adult Learning suggested lifelong learning for adults and importance of various life skill based programs for improving personal as well as social and skills of the adult learner and to draw out their fullest potential. Very important that it said that we have to have, if we have to have fullest potential of an individual, then we have to see that we take these fullest potential of an individual to a level where they are able to adjust best to the society. So that was another aspect. We are gradually evolving from health to education to lifelong learning. In this concept, World Health Organization in 1997 pointed out 10 core life skills which are very essential for the development of an individual. These 10 core life skills can be discussed in a different aspect. These were empathy, this was decision making, there was problem solving. So these were various 10 life skills which were identified: effective communication, self awareness. These were different life skills which were identified by WHO, and it was put to the World Forum that in coming times these skills have to be kept in mind while we are focusing on developing an individual, while we are focusing on teaching learning. So that has to be kept in mind. Then the Dakar World Education Conference highlighted the importance of life skill in 2000. The Dakar World Education Conference was another document which was for the 21st century education, and it highlighted that life skills should be the integral part of any educational curriculum at any level or at every level, and it also should keep in mind the lifelong learning abilities of an individual also. So it doesn't stop at a particular age, it goes on, because we have to see that we are educating individual across times in the world. In 2002, UNICEF defined life skills and highlighted its importance in terms that life skills have to be the core skills which are required for developing of a balanced individual, a balanced child in any respect. In 2003, the World Youth Report recommended that life skill based education program can play inevitable role for making the young generation adapted to the global environment. So what we are saying gradually, that from health it shifted to education, and again the first, the declaration which was there, then the last declaration which is there about life skills have again and again taken into consideration these abilities, those psychosocial behaviors which are required for enhancement of skills of a learner. So we have to keep in mind that while we are talking of life skills, we have to take care of the balanced development of individual in both health and also in the mental and social ability skill. As we go further in 2004, the World Program of Human Right Education was to enlarge the concept of life skills at all levels and all sectors. It spread from, as I was mentioning, from health to education, and from education only to educational institution to the working situations also. So that was there. The World Development Report 2007 also focuses on life skills for enhancing a young person's sense of future. So that is very important, how we are enhancing the times to come, how we are developing the capabilities, the abilities of a learner in the times to come. And if all these documents are available on the public platforms, and you can see how they have mentioned life skills in details in them. In 2007, the 51st session of Commission of Status of Women, UN Women, also recommended life skill education. So we are seeing that worldwide development of life skills, actually it began from health, but then the concept enlarged and it was taken to the development of all abilities and uh, psychosocial skills of a learner, from health to education to all sectors of life. That is how the Western concept of life skill evolved till 2007 and 8. Now, if we look at the life skill in the Indian concept, again, as I said, in our ancient times, the life skill education was part and parcel of the ashramas where the students were living. They had to incorporate the skill, they had to go in the society to beg for various alms, to live, uh, to contribute to the enhancement of the property or the livelihood of the ashram, and they gradually acquired the life skills. But when the formal set of institutions, educational institutions, was set up, then gradually, as the societal framework changed from family to the institutional setup, then there was requirement of education of life skills. We have seen in the Western concept. Similarly, we can see in the Indian concept also. In India, looking at the Dakar summit, looking at the Delors report, although our Commission of Education in 68 and 86 have also said about the abilities, both social and professional development of individual, but the concept in terms of life skills was first taken up in the Sarva Siksha Abhiyan, where it emphasized that life skill training are essential for girls in upper primary classes. The concept of life skills, Delos report, the Jumetin education for all, and we take up that concept in the first time in our document, that girl child should importantly have certain life skills. And actually, probably there was a concept of more vocational ability skills in the girl child which was required, and therefore it linked to the life skill abilities of the child. The National Curriculum Framework 2005 first also suggested about the change in life skill education scenario when it talked of, and it talked that life skill should be integral part of any course which should be there, and therefore CBSE included life skill education as integral part of its curricula from class 6th to class 8th. As we have said, that NCF, National Curriculum Framework 2005, had very importantly stressed on life skill education. That became part of all curricular reforms during that time in all subject, whether it be social science education, whether it be science education, whether it be mathematics education. And it was said that the students who are learning should link their knowledge, information to life situations. If you read the uh, beginning acknowledgement of text of NCRT, CBSE that time, they said that learning should be as per the society. The learning should be to merge with the societal requirement. So learner has to learn in relation to the environment which is there in the society. So that is how the enhancement of life skill education was there with the national curriculum framework. Then as we go ahead, we have the Yuva School Life Skill Program in Delhi, which directs attention. Now, with recommendation of NCF, there were different areas and different states which took up small programs for enhancing life skill as part of educational setup, and the government of Delhi directed its attention on teachers and students to train themselves to use their fullest potential in terms of life skill. And for that they had a Yuva life skill program, like in today's time, if you go to schools of Delhi, you will see a program of happiness curriculum is there. So similar program was there for developing life skills. In 2008, Rajiv Gandhi National Institute for Youth Development also flourished. It was a special institute was set up in Tamil Nadu. They focused on inculcating life skills in learners. That was, and by various activities. It was by physical activities, it was by vocational activities. There were various sort of activity based courses which enhanced life skill. They were professional courses also, there were social courses also, there were psychological courses also, which were launched by these institute. And the purpose was for the holistic development of a child. We need all these programs. National Curriculum Framework for Teacher Education, NCFTE, realized that life skills should be essential for prospective teachers, and therefore they said that life skill component should be there in all teacher education program. It can be a small component of other papers, or there can be a small paper of life skills which can be incorporated in the teacher education curriculum. In 2010, there was a change in Indian assessment uh, practices, and we included continuous comprehensive evaluation as part of assessment. And in this, there was component of life skill there. There were three components: thinking skills, social skill, and life skills which were there. And it was said that the students have to be assessed throughout their development in the course, in the schools, in these three components, and they have to be graded. Continuous comprehensive evaluation, because the importance was both on the scholastic and the co-scholastic areas or the learner of the. In 2010, IALSE, Indian Association of Life Skill Education, was established, working on promotion of life skills. In 2012, there was a public-private teacher training. The venture believes in giving teacher training for imparting life skill. This was a public-private venture which dealt with inculcating the teachers with the knowledge, with the assessment, with the teaching of life skills, so that they can, it is not only knowing the life skill, it is also transferring how we can transfer these life skills in our learners, which is important. And therefore various ways of transferring life skills have also to be taught, which can be discussion, which can be storytelling, which can be visits, which can be actual confrontation with this problem situation. So that aspect, that awareness had to be developed in the teacher educators or the prospective teachers, so that they could consequently transfer this to their learners in the school. That was very important, and this was done because many times we see the initiatives which are taken are private schools or private organizations develop in certain other abilities, and a public organization develop in certain other abilities. So this venture was a joint venture of two, looking into the aspects of life skills and seeing that there is a consonance on these life skills as we come. Then again, if we have to have life skills, then CBSE published a teacher's manual for life skills in 2013, because they said that if we have to have life skill education as part of our curriculum, then we have to see that we are having proper awareness level of the teachers in this program. And there was a whole manual which is still there on the public domain for CBSE from class 6 to class 10. And at every level they said in this manual that different life skill abilities have to be there in the learner, which have to be seen and which have to be taught. So CBSE published a teacher's manual for life skills, saying and emphasizing on different sort of life skill activities. And the basic was the core life skills which WHO had suggested. Taking those core life skills into consideration, they developed activities for class 6th, class 7th, class 8th, class 9th and class 10th. The level of activities were different for each class, and also how the inculcation of life skills will be there. And this was assessed in a very sequential manner, in a very continuous manner, that because again when we are talking of life skills, we are talking of skills which cannot be learnt in one particular lecture. They have to be gradually enhanced from time to time, and they also have to be gradually assessed from time to time. Today it may be 1%, tomorrow it will be 10%, and gradually it will go on improving. Because if you are saying problem solving, it cannot be in one day, in one lecture, that we will have the skill of problem solving. These are skills, they take time to be learned, to be practiced, and to be translated into actual life. In 2019, UGC introduced life skills in higher education curriculum, and they proposed a whole document of Jeevan Kaushal, which was there in the document. It was said what life skills are required for the graduates, they have to be kept in mind. So if we see gradually, we are saying that the life skills are Jeevan Kaushal ke sandarbh mein. They have said that Jeevan Kaushal are those skills which are required for a learner to grow in the undergraduate setting. And again, this is a whole manual which is there for the teachers to be learned and to be practiced at undergraduate level. And it was said this will be compulsory life skills which will be taught as part of curriculum. It can be a paper, a optional paper, or a whole set of part of different papers which have been there. So as we are saying, we are seeing that gradually life skills have evolved from skills which are required for a healthy living, and the concept which first originated in the worldwide concept in Geometin, gradually translated into the Indian scenario with both the school level education and higher education focusing into it. And if you look at the policy 2020, they have said that life skills are essential component of teaching learning at any level, and therefore at undergraduate level we must have certain life skills which are required for a learner to grow, enhance and develop himself in the various scenario for living a balanced life. And these have been the abilities which are there. With this, we can say that the development of life skill has been a continuous process, We have enhanced from certain core competencies to certain various other competencies like social competencies, like digital competencies, like financial competencies, which are required for a learner to lead a balanced life. This historical perspective of evolution of life skill will help us to understand the concept of life skill, how it can be taught to the learner, or how a teacher can identify the life skill in the teaching learning scenario and gradually transmit it to its learners in a very systematic way using different pedagogical andragogical practices and using different course content. With this, we stop this lecture here, and thank you for being with us and hearing it well.